What's up, beach bums? I'm on a mission to find out if it's worth spending your money on fluorocarbon versus monofilament leader. I've tied 2 Pompano rigs, and one has fluoro, one has mono, and it broke the bank to buy this fluorocarbon. It was 20 bucks to buy 200 yards of 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and it cost me, I think, about $4 to buy 650 yards of 20-pound mono leader. So there's a huge price difference. We're gonna see if it makes a difference on the Pompano rigs. The water's a little bit rough today. Obviously, it would probably work better for this test if the water was calm and extremely clear. Had a really stiff east wind like the last 2 weeks before and after the hurricane that just came through. So I'm just giving it a shot. I'm saying forget about it. Mother Nature, I'm going fishing anyway. We're gonna test it out. I may do this again. We may do another test in the future when the conditions are a little bit more conducive, but we're still fishing. I've tied 2 identical rigs. This one is with monofilament, and I've got 2 drops, and I've just put a yellow float with an orange bead and a 1-ounce circle hook, and all 4 hooks, because I have the same setup on my fluorocarbon. As you can see, everything is the same. All the circle hooks, you probably can't tell, but all the circle hooks are identical. They're out of the same package. I even have a 3-ounce pyramid sinker on both rigs, so everything is the same. They're both 20-pound. One is fluoro, one is mono, and I'm going to do my best to put them in the same location, as close together as possible. Where I'm going to start fishing first is right here, right in this pool. If you can tell, it's deeper water closer to the beach. It's a lot more shallow everywhere else along this beach. Up and down this beach I looked, and it's real shallow all the way up to the beach except this one spot right here. So I found this deeper pool. I think there may be some whiting hanging out in this deeper pocket right up next to the sandbar. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to put the lines as close together as possible, so we'll see how accurate I can be in my casting, and we'll try that for a little bit. If I don't get any bites, if I don't get any fish, then I'll move it to deeper water, and we'll test different areas. I have some fresh frozen shrimp, but it's still thawing out. So for right now, I've got 4 fish bites. I've got sand flea flavored and then a shrimp flavored that's white. Sand flea is white and orange. And I'm gonna use a piece of the sand flea and a piece of the shrimp on each setup. So the monofilament will have a piece of both, and the fluorocarbon will also have a piece of both. I'm putting the same piece on each drop. So I've got the sand flea flavor on the bottom drop, and then I'm going to put the shrimp flavored white on the top drop. So I'm trying to do this as scientific as possible. I know there's a lot of variables here, but I'm trying to eliminate as many of them as possible. So, well, we'll see how this works out. So this is the monofilament. I'm going to toss it out, and then I'm going to try to get the fluorocarbon as close to it as possible. That's about where I want it. Of course, I don't want to cross my line, so I got to be careful, but I just want to kind of get it in the same zone. So I'm going to cast this one out as close to it as I can without crossing that line. There we go. That looks pretty dadgum close to me. So I'm trying to eliminate all the variables. If I get a fish on, they're definitely going to cross. It's definitely going to tangle in my lines, but it's for the sake of science. I've got my fluorocarbon line on the left, and I've got the monofilament line on the right. And I'm only using really one rule here, that catfish and blue runners or hardtails do not count in the fish count. So we're just going to see how many fish each one will catch, but those do not count towards the total. So that's my only rule that I'm putting against it. It's been about 15 minutes. I haven't had a bite, so I am going to move my spot. I'm going to still keep it close. I'm just going to move. I'm going to throw it to more towards the right here. There's kind of more that gut right here. Fish on. This is our first fish. He is definitely on here. All right, not just a bite. Let's see. This is on the fluorocarbon, and it's a whiting. So chalk 1 up for the fluorocarbon, and he bit the bottom with the sand flea. So not very big, but a fish is a fish. It counts as long as it's not a catfish or a blue runner. So fish number 1. Good fish, good hit. This is on the fluorocarbon. Again, we just released that whiting, so this was back to back. A little bit bigger whiting, so that's fish number 2 on the fluorocarbon. So it's 2-0 right now to the mono. Nice little whiting. We'll get him back. Keep going. Oh, just had a big bite, big hit. I don't think he's on there though. Oh man, that was on the fluorocarbon. Had a big hit. Probably just a very aggressive whiting, so maybe he'll come back for it. Got a fish on. This is on the mono, so hopefully this will count. And it's a whiting. All right, or southern kingfish, I believe, or one of them kingfish, ground mullet, whatever you want to call it. It's got 100 different names, but we just pretty much call them all whiting, but he's a little bit different. So that's 1 for the monofilament. So we got 2 to 1 fluoro in the lead. While I'm here chilling, waiting on a fish, which, oh man, got a good hit right here. While just turned the camera on. That's a good fish, good hit. This is on the monofilament, so we're about to tie it up. Oh yeah, nice whiting. That's the biggest of the day so far. He's probably keeper size, but I'm not planning on keeping any whiting today, so we'll throw him back. So it just tied it up, 2 to 2. Nice fish. You can't have it. You cannot have it. So I'm just checking baits. Right now it's tied 2 to 2. Every fish has bit on the bottom drop with the sand flea fish bite flavor, and everything has been to this ever since I started casting to the right side of this gut right here close to the beach. While I'm here chilling, waiting on a fish, I want to give a shout out to Kai Baker. Your uncle Aaron said hello. Another fish on the fluorocarbon. Oh, he might have got off. Might have got off. Man, he was on there. Dang. So that was another bite on the fluoro. It does not count. Got to get it to the beach. Nice fish on the fluorocarbon. So this might be number 3. We can get him in. Yes, sir. Another nice whiting. It's about as big as that last one that I just caught on the mono. So now it's 3 to 2. Fluorocarbon has taken the lead. And they've all been whiting. A couple of nice ones. We'll get them back. After that last fish, the fish bites was looking pretty thin, so I'm replacing it on both of them. So again, I'm trying to eliminate as many variables as I can and trying to keep this as consistent so the test is not messed up in any way that is within my control. So on the top drop, we still got the first piece of shrimp flavored fish bites that I put on. It hasn't really gone anywhere because it's not getting any bites, and I have just replaced the sand flea flavor on the bottom. So the difference in fluorocarbon and monofilament, if you don't know, fluorocarbon, even if it's the same size line, so even if it's 20-pound fluorocarbon and 20-pound monofilament, it's supposed to be a little bit smaller in diameter. You can see on the specs here, this is 0.18 inches average diameter, and this is 0.16. So it's a little bit smaller, even though it's the same size test. Also, with fluorocarbon, it's supposedly invisible, quote unquote, in the water, versus fish can kind of see the monofilament line. So that's why a lot of people believe that fluorocarbon is a little bit better to use when you are using, tying pompano leaders or, leader material for a lot of different styles of fishing. There's different reasons why you would need one or the other for different purposes. I don't want to get into all of that, all the different types of fishing and why you would need it, but the main thing for this purpose, for pompano, the reason that some people believe it is just because of the smaller diameter and that it's supposedly invisible underwater. and fish are supposed to not be able to see it. So I'm just testing it out. Obviously, it costs a lot of money to pay for fluorocarbon versus paying for monofilament, which I usually just always use monofilament. I don't ever really fool with fluorocarbon. So this is kind of one of the first times that I'm testing it out, and I just want to see if there really is a difference. The bite is slowed down, so I'm going to cast now to my left, to this area over here, close to the sandbar in that deeper cut, and see if there's any fish over there. And then if I don't catch any, or after the bite slows down on this side, I might start trying to throw on the back side of the bar a little further out, but it's pretty rough out there, so it might be difficult to keep the line out there, but we'll try it. I don't know why these birds are looking up like that. Well, he kind of looked back down, but look at this guy. Both of them are like looking at the sky. I'm sure there's a reason. I've seen them do this before, but it's kind of freaky. It's like we're about to get invaded or something and they know it. Got a fish on the mono late in the game, late. I'm sure that this late it doesn't really matter. But another whiting, so he ties it up. That's 3-3. Another nice whiting. But I'm sure when it's this low of light, it probably doesn't matter what leader you're using, but we'll still count it just for fun. Pretty little whiting. We'll get them back. That's 6 total. That's 3-3. All right, I'm gonna call it. It's getting pretty dark. I'm sure it won't really help our test results at all at this point, so I'm gonna reel it in and I'll talk to you guys back in the car or back at the house and we'll talk about it. Based on today's results, I would say definitely not worth the money to pay for the fluorocarbon leader, but I don't think we can base it just on today because the water was pretty rough and also it wasn't very clear, it was pretty murky. So I would really like to test this out on a day where it's a lot more clear and the water's more calm. I think that would give us a better idea of whether fish are gonna mind the monofilament versus the fluorocarbon leader. So if you think I should do this again, if you think I should make this kind of maybe a series and we do it in some different conditions and test it out in other ways with these Pompano rigs and testing out fluorocarbon versus monofilament, leave a comment in the comment section. Just say do it again or say no, don't do it again. Just, you know, give me your thoughts on that. If you'd like to see this type of content where I test out certain things and see which way works better. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and please feel free to subscribe. If this is on Facebook, give it a like on the page if you don't already. But guys, I really appreciate you watching. And as always, stay bummy.